What's going on, folks? Welcome back. Welcome back to this beautiful fall afternoon. It is about 12:30. I'm going to fish for about 2 to 2.5 hours. I had some morning plans fall through, and I was able to sneak out this afternoon for a couple hours. Primarily going to be looking for bass and pike, but I did bring my ultralight because there are some crappie and white perch in this pond, so I may try some jigging for them. I have some night crawlers I'm going to try. But we're going to get started, see if we can find some fish. What I'm starting with is a spinnerbait. And I have a big fluke tied on, and I have a shallow running crankbait tied on. I'm just going to be searching around with a spinnerbait, see if I can get any attention on it. If I don't, I'll change up tactics. But what I'm going to be hitting is some weed beds that are pretty well deteriorated. And this lake is extremely shallow. This is actually the shallowest I've ever seen this lake. But we're going to head over to our first weed bed right now. These weeds are pretty well shot. I don't think there's any that are actually alive. I think they're all probably dead. Yeah, them weeds are pretty well gone there. All right, we're going to head out to another place. I think that was the first hit of the day. Had a good little bump out there. There's a fish. There we go. First fish of the day. About 10 minutes in. Little guy off a big spinnerbait. Take it. So that fish came in about 2 feet of water. Kind of a rocky, mucky bottom. Well, oh man. Just short hitting it today. That was a good fish. I saw the side of that one. Came right up off this rock over here. I'm definitely interested in the spinnerbait, but they're just, most of them aren't committing to it. Well, just had another fish hit right in front of them weeds. Saw it flash. Looked like it was a decent fish. They're definitely interested in the spinnerbait today, but they're just kind of like swatting at it. They're not actually committing, with the exception of that small one. So I may throw on like a jerk bait or something, because they just don't seem like they want to fully commit to a moving bait. So I may fish this little cove real quick here and swap over to a jerk bait. Oh, there we go. That's a nice bass. Just as I'm saying they're not committing, this big one smoked it. Oh, that's a nice bass. That is a huge bass. Stay hooked, stay hooked, stay hooked. There was another giant with this one. All right, stay hooked, stay hooked. Oh, nice. Whew. There we go. That is a stud. Here we go. Absolute stud. Got that right in the middle of this deteriorated weed patch, and there was another one with it this size. I don't have my scale, so I don't know how big it is, but just an absolute giant fish. I was just saying I was going to swap over to a jerk bait because they weren't really committing to the spinnerbaits that well, but that one certainly did. So I don't know, we'll probably stick with it. That's what I caught that fish off of. That's a 5/8 ounce with a number 6 Colorado blade on it. All right, I'm gonna see if I can find another one of them. I initially thought that thing was a pike, he hit it so hard. And he looked so big in the water that I thought it was a pike. Oh, there we go. Oh, that was a nice pike. That was a nice pike. That was a pike in the 10-pound range. Solid contact, but he just didn't get the hook. He hit it so hard. Dang it. That was a nice fish. I was just getting ready to cast over this way. There's fish in here. Something just knocked this right to the side. Oh, that was a nice pike following it. Come on. All right, folks. So a little bit of an update. I've been fishing for a little over an hour and picked up them 2 bass. I missed 3 other pike once I moved location into this other spot, and saw a few other pike swimming around. But other than that, I haven't actually caught anything. So I'm gonna swap over to some ultralight stuff. I'm gonna jig around for some white perch and crappie, and we'll finish the day with that. I got about another, I don't know, I got another probably hour or so. I'm gonna jig around with that and see if we can find a few. There we go, first fish on the jig. Feels like a decent one. Again, we're on an ultralight rod, so any fish really feels big. No way. I think we have a pike. I think we have a decent pike on this little tiny jig. I can't believe it. It's either pike or a bass. And just realized I don't have a net, but I do have grippers in case I happen to hook into a big one. This one's not as big as it looks, but you know, I'm using a 5-foot ultralight rod with 4-pound test, so they just make it look like it's bigger. I bet this is probably, oh no, that's a nice fish. That's a nice pike. That is a nice pike. And again, nice, I mean only probably like a 30-inch fish. Got that jig right in the corner of his mouth. There we go. Not a bad fish for a little tiny ultralight jig. Got that right in the corner of his mouth. Little tiny rod. I mean, just a little 5-foot ultralight. Catching pike like that. I've been fishing all day and haven't caught one pike. I've missed a few, but that's the first one I've actually caught. And catch it on an ultralight. And all I had on that was just a little piece of night crawler. I found a night crawler in my yard, and that's what I used. So let's see if we can find another one. All right, folks, that is all for the afternoon. That was just over 2 hours of fishing. That last pike I caught on the ultralight was the last fish I caught. I had a few others hit off the ultralight, but they were just yanking them little tiny yard worms off my jig. And I couldn't actually connect with one. So next time I fish, I'm gonna either have a couple shiners I'm gonna cut up into strips like I did last time, or I'm gonna get a sucker or something, because them yard worms just weren't working. But overall, not a bad afternoon, but we're gonna wrap this up here, and we'll see you guys in the next one.